Galatians 5:22 and 23, where Paul writes, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith," and here we go, "meekness, temperance." What do we mean by meekness? You know, for some crazy reason, we get this idea that if a person is meek, they are weak. But in fact, the word meekness is the word prautes, and contrary to what most people think, this word meekness describes a very strong-willed person, a very strong-willed person. But it's a person who has been able to take his strong will and submit it to somebody else. And one of the greatest examples of this is Moses, who wrote of himself in the Old Testament that he was the meekest man on the face of the earth. Well, think about how arrogant you would have to be to write your own words about yourself that you are the meekest person on the face of the earth. At face value, that's pretty shocking. But when you understand the word meekness, it makes sense. Moses was actually saying, you've never met anybody stronger-willed than me. My will was so strong, but meekness, I learned how to take my strength and submit it and to bring it under the control of someone else. Peter writes about meek women in 1 Peter chapter 3, where he says there's nothing more beautiful than a godly woman who is the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. That doesn't mean that she's just some quiet little lady. That's a strong lady he's talking about. That is a strong-willed woman, a woman with her own mind and her own opinion, but through godliness and prayer, this strong-willed woman has learned how to get control of herself. And Peter's actually saying there's nothing more beautiful than a woman in control. That's what the word meek means. Now, if you don't have meekness, you're just out of control. But it connects to the next word, which is the word temperance. And the word temperance is the Greek word enkrateo. En means in. Kratos is the word power. In power. It really means the word self-control. Self-control. This is a fruit of the Holy Spirit. To have self-control or self-discipline. To have power over one's self. How about eating? Do you have power over what you eat and what you don't eat? Do you have power over your worry? Or does your worry have power over you? Do you have power over your mouth? A person who has temperance or a person who has self-discipline, self-control, supernaturally, they've got the fruit of the Holy Spirit, which gives them the ability to be in control or under the power of themselves. They can say yes, they can say no, they know when to stop, they know when to go, they know when to start, they know when to stop, and they have no problem doing that because temperance is working inside them. And this is a supernatural fruit of the Holy Spirit. Your flesh will do just the opposite. It knows no bounds, it knows no limitations, it will always do the extreme, it will always do the ludicrous, but temperance always pulls things back in order. And it may be that today you need for God to work meekness and temperance in you. And if you'll just open your heart and say, Holy Spirit, help me. I'm so strong-willed. I lose my temper. Help me to be a meek person. Help me to seize my strength and to bring it in submission to you. Help me, Holy Spirit, to be temperate. Help me to have power over my emotions and power over my desires. Help me to pull this thing in order. Those are supernatural fruits. And if you'll ask the Holy Spirit to help you, He'll start helping you today.